Welcome back to Biomutant. In the last episode we met Gizmo for the first time, and today we're heading out into the Deadzone for the very first time as he needs parts for the MekTon. Now I've probably not pronounced that anywhere near correctly, but that's the best I can do at this time. So we've got to go outside, see what it's all about, and then hopefully find these parts that Gizmo needs.
There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives.
After it told us that we can't survive in the Deadzone because of hypoxia, I thought I'd have a quick look at our upgrade resistance, and actually there isn't one for hypoxia. So although it says however you choose your resistances at the start matter when it comes to dead zones, this one, nothing we can do about. But anyway, we're going to head further in, find these ruins and try and get these parts.
Even the sound seems sharper here.
This was a lot harder than it seemed to get across. This took a couple of attempts. This attempt, our first, didn't go to plan. But let's hopefully make it across this time. And there it is, a duck face. That's what was needed for the MekTon for Gizmo. So that is that mission done. We now need to head back to Gizmo and hopefully put the parts on the machine. On the way out, we're going to try and collect everything we possibly can. It's always good to find everything around us, make sure everything's clear. Any more ingredients and materials we can use for upgrading, because we haven't really done much so far. So we'll have a look around before we head out and see if we can collect everything at the same time.
your head is still spinning. He says that's enough to get the MekTon functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun, and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. Something he devised to salvage valuables from the ground. There are usually spots hidden beneath puddles of oily goo where you can use the net. He's been working on another project for the MekTon, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the Sqvips. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the Jumbo Puff. The best way to find Sqvips is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the Deadzone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find Sqvips. Gizmo thinks he's a little peculiar, but very knowledgeable. He has the ins and outs of all monster and creature whereabouts.
After fitting the parts to the MekTon, Gizmo has allowed us to take it out into the Deadzone, which should hopefully make us survive a little bit longer, and we've got to find our way to Moog. Let's see what the Deadzone has in store for us, shall we?
Get under that sky while you still can. Hear that? It's called quiet. The grease monkey's MekTon is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Deadzone. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. Still feel dizzy? That means you're still alive.
We have managed to find a signpost in the Deadzone. We're going to activate this, and that gives us a fast travel point for later on.
Let's see.
We also wanted to use this to try and find the location of Moog and where we were in relation to it. We did try and run across the grassy bank where we are to see if we can get there from there, but we couldn't. So it means backtracking with the MekTon to try and find how we get to Moog.
That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Let's see. This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not many are as tough and clever as you must be. Says a monster hunter hears many things on the wind. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make. You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones. Says they keep the monsters away. He needs them closer, not farther. But enough of that, right? He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed. He's not sure about their veggie diet anymore, and if it's changed, who knows what it's done with the chemical composition of their body output. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Says as big as they are, the world is bigger. To find where they are, you need to see where they've been. Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. There's no better place to start than a Sqvip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes. Thinks you have bigger issues than your so-called haunting skills if you're going to nitpick on his grammar.
So we've spoken to Moog. He has told us about the Sqvips and where they're living, and we need to go and hunt some, because I think we need them for the MekTon from what I can gather. But that is it for today. We're out of time. Next episode, we're going to go and hunt down these Sqvips and hopefully see how they fit into the MekTon. We'll see you for that one.